when America decided that they wanted to bring this back, is this a cause and effect? Like, did Taliban waited until the American troops left so that they can seize power, or did America leave so that the Taliban would come?
A Sankarshan Joshi trip.
When the America decided to take back, right? Like when they decided to step back and like bring back all the troops, like bring all the power back. So that's when the Taliban's power escalated, right? Like that's when they came up. So, like I'm wondering, is this a coincidence or did they know that this is gonna happen? Like when America decided that they wanted to bring this back, is this a cause and effect? Like did Taliban waited until the American troops left so that they can seize power, or did America leave so that the Taliban would come? Like I'm just so confused with this.
No, I mean you can put a few things. I mean, as it comes and go, but no, I don't think the U.S. Withdrawal itself led to the Taliban's resurgence. Taliban's resurgence happened way back in 2008 or 9, when they were they immediately up as and when US invaded against Al Qaeda and Taliban. The Taliban were kicked out within days of their government, and then they established a new so-called democratic government within Afghanistan. So the Taliban basically withdrew into shadows of Pakistan, the northwest frontiers of Pakistan, and that's where they built their whole sanctuaries of terrorism again and again. And by 2007, 2008, they were back. By 2011, 2012, Taliban has completely reformed itself into guerrilla organization, IEDs, rocket launchers, bombings, guerrilla attacks, ambushes. Quite a lot of things happened, and the areas controlled by the government drastically, either they fell completely to Taliban, or rather than actually they started falling periodically to Taliban, or they were being competed by Taliban. So the US quite knew it. And there's this leak by Washington Post, I presume. I think that was called Kabul Papers. So there was something, there was a wild belief, not even belief, there was always evidence that the US has always been failing in its nation building machine, in its nation building mission in Afghanistan. But the US wasn't ready to, digest it. One, yeah, because they didn't want the China or Russia to come in. Two, they didn't want their ego to be down. If they let go tomorrow, every nation state will question their power. Third, they always wanted an enemy to survive on war lobby. As I said, it took so long for the US to realize. But again, when and how your domestic public opinion changes, when they start questioning you, like what actually are you doing in Afghanistan? What's your purpose of going to Afghanistan? That's when your leaders also start, wagging their tails to what the public opinion says. And precisely this debate had been happening since 2014, 2015. Barack Obama was of the opinion that, by 2009 and 10, the US troops increased from 40,000 to 90,000 in Afghanistan. Why was this? Because he said we are going to completely destroy the enemy and then we are going to withdraw by 2014, 2013. It didn't happen. And similarly, NATO forces were there. They also said the same thing. By 2014, NATO operations were wrapped up, but the terrorism problem still prevailed. So I don't think the US, the US didn't have that capacity to survive there for long. I mean, even if they did, they would have still seen themselves failing day in and day out. So that's why I think it was better, or they decided it was better to leave Afghanistan as and when it goes. Again, second thing you need to also look at is the shifting priorities. At that point of time, Central Asia, for US, holding Central Asia, holding on to Iran, threatening Russia was something important. Holding Middle East was something important. But now the world system has changed. Now threat has changed. We have moved, US has moved from looking at Russia as a threat to China as a threat, right? The US has moved from making the Middle East as a chess battleground to making Indo-Pacific region as the battleground. So we see this shift happening from one place to the other place, and that's why precisely you could also argue that the US had no, real interest in staying in this region as and when China started, growing into a big power.